at home. This is Murphy Ojo again, and you're all welcome to my program again. I hope you are all good, and I know some of you guys have been waiting for me to come on here. Here I am. How you doing, guys? Yeah, we are back on it again. What are we back on? Our normal program, that is Bits and Pieces with Murphy Ojo. So if you are new on this program, if this is your first time of joining me, this program has been on for the last maybe 7-8 weeks. This is where we talk about the little gray area in domiciliary care, where I believe I can make difference. I can support people on the field, the carer, just to do their job very well. For the last few years I've been in this field, last 8-10 years, I've seen a lot. And I believe sometimes, no matter the training you're giving, there are still a few areas that goes beyond training that you've got to know about. So we've spoken about a lot of topics. If you want to go back, you can just go to my YouTube page. I will see all those topics we've covered. But tonight, the topic I want us to cover is what I call pressure sore. And there's a reason for it, for me to choose that topic tonight. We know we are officially in summer because of our weather. We know what our weather is all about. Sometimes you are in summer, you feel like being cold or being in winter. So that is why we're still having this kind of weather. We're in May and it's still somehow cold out there. So that is UK for you. But on a normal ground, we're supposed to be in summer and where it will be hot. And during this period, it's better for us to know what we should do when we are dealing with clients with pressure sore. So, what do we call pressure sore? Some people call it bed sore, pressure sore, or bed sore. And then pressure sore is called an injury to the skin or to the underlying tissue. Injury to the skin and to the underlying tissue, primarily caused by prolonged pressure on the skin. When you stay in one place for a long period of time, you didn't move, there is tendency that there might be an injury to that skin, to that part of the skin. Let me expatiate further. Imagine you just sleep. If anybody can have pressure sore, let me start from there. Anybody, myself, yourself, old, young, anybody can have pressure sore, but it just depends how you manage it. So imagine you just sleep the same place. You're unable to move your body for a long period of time. That's where I put prolonged pressure. When you put prolonged pressure, even when you have your fit, your skin is very, very good. When you sleep in one place for a long period of time, there is tendency you will feel the pain on that part of your body, whether you like it or not. So, and this, if it continues, there is tendency it might affect your skin. Then by the time you leave that part of the skin, let's say you sleep in one place for the last 48 or 72 hours, you can imagine, that part of the place you totally look different to the other part of your body that are actually exposed to here. So, when you stay for a long period of time in a place, in particular position, without changing your body, it will cause you to have pressure sore. And which area of the body are we talking about? The area of the body that we normally feel pressure sore are the bony area of our body, like the elbow, your heel, your hips, And the lower end of our body, the sacral area, when you sleep, you know this is how our body is. That is the last part of our area. That is the base of the spine, because that is where we normally put pressure there, and on top of our head. That's where we have pressure. And then your elbow, your hip, your heel. When you put your heel down, this is most of the time you put your heel. That is where we normally put the pressure on most of the time. So at the beginning, there is possibility you might not feel anything. If you are white skin, what you normally see is the white patches in those areas, or the reddish kind of a thing. And if you are black, excuse me, that is when you see the purplish or the blue patches around that kind of an area. That is the first sign that something is wrong, because blood was unable to flow around your body freely. And if that occurs, it can lead to another thing. At that particular point in time, they call it maybe stage 1 kind of a thing. There won't be any breakdown in your skin, but you just see those signs there. If you are white, you see the white patches or the reddish kind of a diarrhea. And if you're black, you see, what's the name? The bluish or the purple patches. Then that one should alert you. This part that I'm talking about address every one of us, whether you're for your own personal thing too. Because sometimes some people see some signs and they say, what is this or just everything. Sometimes as a result of you sitting down in one place for a long period of time, where you do not even move at all, then you see that thing. If it continues for a long period of time, or if turn into a culture kind of a thing that you just sit 24 hours, that is very, very strange. But let's say you're not doing anything, you're not going out, you just lay on the bed for a long period of time, and on one side it could occur. So pressure stroke can go from one stage to another stage, from stage 1 to stage 2 to 3 to stage 4. Stage 1, that is when I said when there was no breakdown at all. No skin, your skin have not broken, but there's a sign there. When there is a breaking in that part of that skin, then you move to stage 2. That is when you have stage 2 of pressure sore or bed sore, as some people call it. Then it could lead to stage 3, when it leads to the tissue parts of your skin is now breaking. So I will expatiate on that stage 3. That stage 3, before even pressure sore got to that stage 3, a lot must have been done, except if you mix it. So it will then lead to skin breakdown, the tissue breakdown. The stage 4, it is when the tissue, it has breaking down into the tissue, going into the bone. Then that is when you talk about stage 4. And all these things could lead to someone's death. So, what can cause pressure sore to go from stage 1 to stage 2 or to 3 or to stage 4? Or how long could it just move from stage 1 to stage 4? All these things could just take hours. It could take hours. Depend on few probabilities. If the client is not on good diet, that's going to be a problem. Or you are not eating very well. Your skin could break down quickly, easily. If you don't drink enough. It is even normal. When you don't even drink, your skin even feel tired. You look so tired. The skin, even not even the look alone, your skin, people will see your skin, they say, okay, your skin is dehydrated when you don't drink. So that's what I'm saying, that I want to talk about this because the weather is changing. We're moving from spring to summer. We're officially in summer. So in order to help the carer out there, that is why I actually, speaks on this topic tonight. That is why I want us to talk about this tonight. So we won't be able to, when we are going to summer really, because what will happen next week, we will be saying that the weather is going to go back to a very normal, good weather from next week. So for us to know what we should be doing, that's what I said, okay, let's talk about this, because it will help you out there to do your job. So if you're not drinking much, you are in problem. The skin could break down. Even if your client is not drinking so much, the skin could break down quickly. It could take hours just to move from stage 1 to stage 3 if care is not taken. And that is one. That is two. The other one is even the weather. And the hot weather, we know what is happening. So when it's so hot, people need to find a way to relieve the pressure on the body. But somebody with a very, very thin skin, dehydrated skin, what do you expect? And a very bad diet, things could go worse. Another thing is that when somebody is just, maybe your client just come back from the hospital, they're unable to move, they just lay there on one side, nobody reposition them. So they are prone to skin breakdown very quickly, very, very quickly. Before you realize it, everything will just, you'll be running at a sketcher. Because they will tell you, when he or she left the hospital, it was still in stage 1 or even stage 2. So how could it go from stage 3 to stage this? So that is that. There is something important I want you to know. When your client move from stage 1 to any stage, especially to stage 3, and that person is admitted to the hospital, definitely they are going to receive safeguarding. That is a normal procedure. Any clients that comes to the hospital with stage 3 or pressure sore is going to be safeguarding. So imagine, people don't always want to hear safeguarding because they will want to get to the root why you have to wait or there was no dressing. Even if there is dressing, they will still raise it. That is the normal process that they have to, the normal procedures that they followed. Even the worst thing is that even a client leave hospital the day before yesterday with stage 3, and he or she has to go back to the hospital to deal with that stage 3, they will still raise safeguarding. They just released the person 2 days ago from the hospital with stage 3 pressure sore. You just started attending to that person. If there is a need to take that person back to the hospital, once that person comes to the hospital, the first thing is just to check the body, they will still raise safeguarding for the pressure sore that was not sustained at all. That is the procedures they have to follow. But for me, I feel like it's very wrong procedures. Because by the time they raise safeguarding, 9 times out of 10 times, it gets to look safeguarding authority that they have to raise it, and then you need to defend it before they now go back to realize that, okay, the pressure sore actually was from the hospital before he came home in the first instance. But you must have invested a lot of resources, your time, your emotions, your money, just almost everything into it, just to defend what is not your problem. Before they now come into conclusion, okay. And it's not a straightforward thing. It's not a straightforward thing. It will take time. That is why I really don't like that procedure. I expect people to know that, okay, when they even raise that safeguarding, by the time they check their system, they must have known that, okay, this person just come out of the hospital and actually he or she went home with that pressure sore. No, 9 times out of 10 times, no. You are the one that will have to sort that thing out. That will have to tell them, okay, this is the discharge note. It came with the pressure sore. This is what you've done. Even sometimes, when they even need to have send a referral to the community nurse and the district nurse to come and treat this thing, most of the time they don't send referral. Immediately you take up the package, you have to start all the process by yourselves. That is the process in this country. So that is all about pressure sore. Pressure sore is just, as I said, injury to the skin and the underlying tissue as a sort of prolonged pressure on our skin. So if you stay in one place for a long period of time, yeah, there's a problem. And in which parts of the body can we find pressure sore? Mainly the bony area, our elbow, our hip, our heel, and the lower base of the spine. Most of the time, that is where you see pressure sore. And what are the signs that you should see? If you are white, you see the white patches. And if you are black, you see the bluish or purple patches. Before even it leads to breakdown, stage 3 and stage 4. And this is as a result of you not drinking very well, not eating good diet, or being exposed to heat, and then staying in one place for a long period of time. That is that. Okay, what are the duties of carer? Because that is the main thing why I'm doing this. If you are the carer, I'm just begging you, please, whenever you need to give your client personal care, please check all this area very well. Sometimes pressure sore starts from being a tiny dot. Tiny dot. Make sure that all those details, you make sure you pick them up. And sometimes when you're supposed to be giving somebody personal care, but because they can still do certain things by themselves, yeah, I'm not saying you should take their independence away from them, no. But you should always support them to look for pressure sore in those areas. Because if everything bursts, they will come back to you. Because in this first place, it's your responsibility to give that person a wash, bare bath, or whichever you are, or showering, whichever is the need of that client. It's your responsibility. So if you are not, okay, the client just tells you, I will do everything by myself, I will do everything by myself, I take a step, I'm not saying you shouldn't take a step back, but always inform them. Let them know that you know your stuffs. Let them know that there are certain things that you need to check for. Tell them because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that, you need to check certain area. They will. 9.5 out of the clients, they will allow you to do a lot of things. But you just have to explain to them, you just have to talk to them. Let them know the reason why you're doing that. Even when you're washing, okay, some of them say, okay, I just want you to wash my back. Fine. You wash their back, but let them know that, okay, please check the elbow, you check their elbow for them, you check the lower part of the spine for them, you check their heel, you check all these things very well. And always make sure that when you see those signs, just don't overlook it that, okay, maybe because they just sleep for some time, that is why it stays there. No. There are a lot of, at that particular point in time, there are a lot of treatment like barrier cream, pseudo cream, all those everything that you can use. You just need to report it. And it doesn't take them time just to report it to the GP. So, and then they can just come up for the assessment and then prescribe, most of the time, pseudo cream or barrier cream, for you to rub onto it just to suit the area. Sometimes it might be because of the bed they're using. there is pressure relief mattress. If it is ordinary bed, there is tendency that the skin will break down. Imagine if, as fit, as agile as you are, you can have pressure sore. You imagine the frail elderly ones. Somebody is in 60s, 70s, 80s. They will surely have, they're prone to pressure sore. Because 9 times out of the time, they don't just walk around, they just sit down one place watching TV most of the time. And the one that they're not mobile, most of the time they sleep on the bed. And if they sit on normal bed, there is possibility they will have pressure sore. So when you report it on time, they might give them pressure relief mattress, they might give them pressure relief cushion, whichever. But yours is just to make sure that you report it on time. So another thing I want to talk about is make sure that you give them enough fluid. We are going into summer now. We are in summer, sorry. Give them enough fluid. Let them drink very, very well. They need to drink a lot. They need to drink a lot of water. So you need to give them water to drink. You need to give them water to drink. And then make sure that even if you have to document it, you have fluid intake chart. Almost every organization have got it. Don't just have your mind in rush out. When it is like that, there is 99% chance you will miss something. Pressure sore can become funny. Pressure sore can kill. Because when skin break down, that is, it can cause loss of blood. And then blood might not stop. So by the time they will get to the hospital, they've already gone. And infection can just get into it. I've seen somebody with grade 4 pressure sore. If I cite this example, the lady happened to be one of our clients, very old, even very young lady, but before what happened to her happened to her. It got to a stage when the pressure started smelling. It was then the carer who were need from the word go. So there was, I called district nurses, there was tissue viability nurses attending to her. Almost everybody, every professional that needed to attend to her was attending to her. They were attending to her. But the problem is that I just believe that something is not clicking. In my head, I just believe something was not clicking with this particular treatment. So I had to call CCG on that day, and I said, I think we need joint review about this package because the pressure is not healing. I called the nurse involved, I called everybody involved. This is not healing. And it can get one into problem, and I don't want to be in trouble. So we've got to resolve this. I don't think the care package designed for this woman is not fit for the purpose. It's either she's at the hospital because they said they've provided everything for her to tissue viability nurses have come down. They've done whatever they want. And whenever I go for the assessment or for a review, what I see there was, so I actually escalated it. By the time I escalated it and I went to the hospital, she went to the hospital, they already safeguarding because it was stage 4. That's what I said earlier on. And we were there defending what is indefendable. Because even the safeguarding lead was actually throwing an accusing finger on her. So they said that even everybody that was there, they were just shocked. With all the evidence that I showed him, from when it was stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, when she went to the hospital, she actually came back from the hospital with stage 3 pressure sore. And I documented everything, I gave everything. So I went to my dad, hit him straight on the head. It was like, people that were there that day, that was even involved with the care from the word go, they were shocked with the way he was talking. But I actually proved my point on that day for him, and I actually put him to where he belongs. Because they see you as the lower base of that ladder, hospital, social service, all those everything. They see themselves as the boss of the whole thing. So you have got to cover your back. And the only way you can cover your back is to make sure that you document whatever you are doing. If you have to take, as I said, if you have to take, what's the name, the flu shot, make sure you take flu shot. And then there is, what's the name, pressure map, the body map, sorry. You feed the body map, and at the very end, you continue to put it down. Okay, on this particular day, this is how it is, this is how it is. So you monitor it, whether it's closing down or it's not. So one can escalate it. Sometimes nothing's supposed to be coming twice because of everybody knows what is going on within that field. The government courts, maybe they have to send just once in a week. They don't have enough staff. So they have to come only once. So you have to make sure you do that, you report it. Another thing is that you make sure that they eat. If they're not eating, you monitor everything. You monitor everything. So make sure that you give your clients, as you are going into the summer time now, give your client enough fluid and record it. Make sure that you monitor what they eat. And if it's the family that is responsible for that thing, liaise with the family. Because when the problems start, they see you as a professional that should be there for them. Tell them what they're doing right or what they're doing wrong. If you are not doing it, it's going to be a real issue. Make sure you do all these things. And whatever you say, they report quickly to your office or to your line manager. And I hope if you do all this stuff, you won't be in any problem. So that is it about pressure solve for this week. I hope next week we'll come up with another topics. And if there is another topics you guys want me to talk about, just let me know. I will talk about it. Until next week again, from me, Murphy Ojo.